So tired of dating in this generation, bro. Story time. So I had started talking to this girl on Instagram who lives in a different state than me, but she was planning on moving to my state in 2026, so I entertained it. We started talking around November 2025, and we both planned on being out in Houston for the New Year's because we both have family out there. Cool. So I took her out on 2 dates. We went to go eat, and then we went bowling, and the vibes was there. Like, she was funny, like she was cool at the time. Like, everything was going smooth. But most of the time when things start off too good, the inevitable happens. So we both go back to our cities, and after a little bit, we decide that we want to see each other again. And the vibes was right, so I booked her a flight, and I sent it to her, and I said, make sure everything looks good, because on Expedia, if you book a flight from Expedia, you only have 24 hours to cancel it. After that 24 hours, you're not getting a refund, and you're not getting any partial credit. I made that clear, right? The flight ticket was damn near $500, bro. She looked at it, and she told me that everything looks good, and I was like, okay, bet. I booked the flight on January 24th, and she was supposed to land on February 5th, which was yesterday. But on Monday of this week, I get a text. The text says, I just booked my nail and wax appointment for the trip, babe. She never called me babe. Can you send me some money so I can get ready to see you? And I'm genuinely confused, so I text her back the next day, and I say, like, that's not who I am, respectfully. Like, let me know if that changes anything. And she texts me, yes, it does. Respectfully, you can cancel the flight. Then I asked her, so even though I'm gonna pay for the flight and pay for everything when you get down here, for like dates and all that stuff, like, you don't wanna see me because I'm not paying for your nails? And she was like, she's taking time off work and making time in her schedule to come see me. Wanting to be taken care of before she travels is the bare minimum. That's what this girl told me. And then after that, I just said, you lame, and that was it. This shit just shows you how unappreciative people are. Like, I paid for your flight. I was paying for everything that you was gonna do when you got down here. I was gonna pick you up from the airport, do everything I was supposed to do. You can't even cover your own nails? Like, were you not gonna get your nails done regardless? Like, do you not normally get your nails done? Do you not normally get waxes? Like, what be wrong with y'all? That's my first and last time flying a girl out. I'm never doing that shit again.
Gen Z women that have gotten an abortion, aka killed their unborn child, should be socially ostracized and cut out of the dating market completely. Now, that is a big ass because it assumes that Gen Z men as a whole will be able to put down their lustful urges when it comes to hypergophoids.
Hypergophoids?
But bear with me here.
Bear with you? Nah, the bear would never suggest such a thing.
If there was some sort of coordinated movement amongst Gen Z men, kind of like the 4B movement in Korea.
Can't even come up with an original idea for a movement. You have to steal it from women. What kind of alpha are you?
But for Gen Z women that have gotten abortions and we were just like, okay, we're never going to talk to you, we're never going to speak to you, you're going to be socially ostracized.
It's definitely not a coping mechanism to reject women before they have a chance to 100% most definitely reject me. It has nothing to do with me being a completely, utterly useless, disgusting, repulsive human being. It's simply a movement. To present like I'm in this position of power that is totally an illusion that even blind people can see.
And this is spread into normie tier men.
Of course we're dealing with an aura farming top tier chat over here.
And it was not only just like a movement in silence.
I wouldn't overlook that. Why don't you give it a try and shut the fuck up?
It was a mass shame campaign. It could be effective in saving the lives of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of unborn children.
Of course it would, sweetheart.
Because if women were being publicly shamed by relatively normal men,
at least you're giving some acknowledgement to insinuate that you're definitely not normal.
For doing that procedure in all of its evilness.
And what you're doing is contributing such good to humanity.
Women would be a lot less likely to actually undergo it.
They'd never be in a position to undergo the procedure if they never got pregnant in the first place. How do women get pregnant?
Especially for trivial reasons like economic purposes.
To suggest that pursuing this procedure for economic purposes is trivial shows me what little you care about the lives of unborn children. But that is on brand for pro-life types. This is a genuine question. Is public humiliation a kink for some people?
A lot of modern women continue to say that men aren't putting forth effort. Yes, I am. I'm just not giving you the effort because you want some BS.
Here, look, I'm 30 years old. Not one of my friends has children. Zero. No one. No one's having kids. Do you know how hard you need to abuse a mammal to make them not have children? Like, look, GDP goes up. People have have enough food, you know, and whatever. No one's having kids, and this is across the world. This is across both the West, the East, you know, everywhere it's happening. So why do I not have kids? And the answer to that is I don't really know. This is the weird thing. So there's a thing that happens, especially with like even younger than me. Like the kids are like 18 today. There's a huge problem where they don't dance. No one dances. They go to clubs and they don't dance. Why is this? Because you get recorded. If you're an 18-year-old kid, you go to a club, you get recorded. If you approach a girl and you mess it up, you get recorded. Everything is panopticon now. So if you had to ask me why, my answer is technology. My answer is social media. My answer is AI. My answer is algorithms.
Right.
I think there's a deep thing where we as a society have not dealt with the fact that we have to steward technology responsibly. We have treated technology as a Wild West.
Absolutely.
Just everyone can do whatever they want. Just sell all of our younger generation's dating lives to corporations for profit. And who pays the cost for this? Who has liability? For every person who doesn't find the love of their life because the whole dating market is fucked up, who pays for this? No one. There is no responsibility.
So research shows that fertility it's several things. It is technology. It's also the economy, so it's a lot more expensive. To some extent, it's also women getting more into education, which is a good thing. It's also pollution. So sperm counts have dropped 50%. They have halved over the past few decades, and we think it's because of industrial pollution. So all of this goes back to the economic system. That's why we keep creating these dopamine loops in our technology. Instead of connecting one another, you can get a lot more by making the suggestion of connection, and then people keep coming back. Simulacrum is a lot more profitable.
If a man disappears and then comes back months later like nothing happened, there are usually only 3 possible reasons. And I'm going to be honest about them. I know this because I've been that guy. When a man circles back after disappearing, most women assume something meaningful happened. Maybe he reflected and truly realized what he lost, but most of the time, it's much simpler than that. The first reason is loneliness. Time passes, and the excitement of other distractions fades, and suddenly the connection he once had with you starts to feel comforting again, so his curiosity kicks in, and he wonders if the door might still be open. The second reason is the other option didn't work out. Sometimes when a man disappears, it's because he was exploring another possibility, but when that situation ends, he remembers the connection he had before, so he circles back, and this isn't because he suddenly changed. It's simply because the alternative is now gone. The third reason is familiarity. He remembers that being with you felt easy. You liked him and welcomed him into your life with kindness and warmth. He misses that warmth. So he assumes that reaching out again will probably be safe. You gave him little resistance and his effort was low last time, so why not? But here's the important part. Coming back out of convenience is very different from coming back with real intention. So if a man disappears and then returns, don't immediately assume the story in your head is true. Instead, ask him one question. What made you reach out now? Don't ask it emotionally, just be clear. And then listen carefully. Because if his answer is vague or he avoids the question, then absolutely nothing has actually changed. A man who truly values the connection will be very clear about why he came back, and he'll show it through consistent actions why he returned. If this helped you see the pattern more clearly, the link in my bio explains why men come back in much more detail.
Statistically speaking, men are 5 times more likely to leave their wives over this one specific thing, and it's not. There's a recent study published from the Journal of Marriage and Family with over 25,000 straight married couples over an 18-year period span, and they found that when the husband got sick, the couple often stayed together. But when the wife got sick, the marriage was more likely to end. Ironically, in 2009, there was another study done in cancer that found a huge difference in gender rates when it came to partner abandonment when married couples faced terminal illnesses. They found that when the husband was diagnosed with some sort of terminal illness or disease or a tumor, cancer, sclerosis, anything along the lines of that nature, the divorce rates didn't really change. But when the wife was diagnosed with these same things, the husband was 5 times more likely to leave her. And according to Bella DePaulo, who's a social psychologist, is a very interesting reason as to why this tends to happen in marriages. And it's likely because when a woman is diagnosed with these things, now she has an inability to take care of not just herself, but also her partner. And according to Bella DePaulo, it's not so much about the disease, but more so about the generals. Because when a woman is faced with severe illnesses, a tumor, cancer, now she has an inability to perform everyday tasks around the house. And this means no cooking, no cleaning. So when these things are not provided for the husband likely sees it as a sign to get out of there. And even though nowadays women make up nearly half of the workforce, they're still getting home and doing the majority of the domestic labor in the house. So now not only do they have a 9 to 5, but they're also getting home and cooking, cleaning, doing homework with the children, putting them to sleep, etc. So in short words, many husbands don't have a problem accepting the unconditional love that a woman could give him for years on end. But the moment that this wife can no longer physically serve him, a lot of husbands will see it as a reason to not stick around. And according to these studies, it happens a lot. It's not every man, but it is a huge percentage of them.
Men have started going their own direction and quit fixing the mistakes and the foolishness. And some of the stuff is not even a mistake. It's just you doing whatever you want to do and expecting a man to save you. And when I, as a man, have stopped doing that, my life has gotten a lot better.
A guy was just trying to hit on me at the gym, and it made me think that there are plenty of places that I would love to be hit on in this world. The gym is not one of them. Let me tell you some of the places I would love to be hit on. First up, we have a Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's is honestly like one of your best bets. You could easily start up a conversation. Oh, have you tried this? Somebody's been talking about that. Like whatever you want to do, what a great way to start a great conversation about food. Nothing could be better. And like Trader Joe's is just like a little, you know what I mean? Like something about it. I can't explain that, but it's true. Second, very similar, a Target. Like Target is wonderful. I love Target. There's so many great ways to start a conversation. And you know what I mean? Like, suss the vibes out. Next one is at a bar. It seems self-explanatory, but these days it frankly doesn't feel like it is. I think at a bar is the best place, but that's just me. Now, this might be controversial, but anywhere if I'm out with my girls, I feel like this is great if you do this properly. Like, you don't linger too long. My girlfriends can either like shoo you away or be like, oh my God, and like push me towards you. You know what I mean? Like, everything about it is perfect. And so if you see me out with my girls, it's probably a great time to just like do a quick introduction, give me your number, and like move it on from there. This is a recent love of mine. Slide into the Instagram DMs. You can see my Instagram, see all my pictures of me. I can see all of your pictures and your Instagram. I can see if we have any mutuals. Like maybe there's some sort of commonality between us. We have no idea. Like it's basic. It's simple. You can't go wrong. Lastly, any social event. You take a workout class. If you go to like some sort of, you know, big happy hour kind of event or some sort of trivia night, like you see me, just come up to me. Just say hi. It feels so simple, but I don't know. It seems like it's not. Anyway, just figured I would let everyone know because I don't want to be approached at the gym. And these are great places if you'd like to.
Expect things from men, but men can't expect anything from women. Like, I seriously want you to stop and think about one thing that it's socially acceptable for a man to expect from a woman. Like, can you think of a tangible thing where if I got on here and I was like, hey, I think in a relationship that women should blah, 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 that wouldn't be problematic or red pill? Because from what I notice, it's like, it's okay if a woman expects men to pay for dates, but that man can't expect the woman to put out. It's okay if women expect men to pay all their rent, but if he expects her to cook and clean, he's a filthy misogynist. Women can expect a man to facilitate an environment in which they can become a stay-at-home mother. However, that man cannot expect her to become a stay-at-home mother.
I mean, he's not wrong. I also don't understand this influencer thing of having like your blanket around you, having like a binky around you when you're doing your, it feels weird to me. Like, it feels like you're like, is it supposed to be like we're intimately, you know, cuddling and talking? I don't know what that's about. Yeah, look, I don't, there is a very strange double standard around right now when it comes to what's acceptable for a woman to demand of a man in relationship versus a man to demand of a woman in relationship or expect in a relationship. And I think that is a function of having been, you know, told for the last decade or more that, you know, women are girl bosses and they're all amazing princesses and they're all perfect exactly the way they are and beautiful at any size and beautiful whatever it is that they're doing, and men just kind of suck no matter what. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is the reality of things. I mean, I think I can't think of any answer to that question. I was trying to think, as someone who argues for a living and is used to seeing both sides of things, what would be socially acceptable to get on the internet and say a man can expect from a woman?
I think it's going to be childbirth. I think that's going to be their answer.
Because it would be many women choose not to have children, and to just find a woman as well. Oh, what are women? Birthing chambers for you? Is this the Matrix that their job is to just give birth to? They're there to hold your seed? Is that what? No, there would be no acceptable answer. Which, by the way, tells you.
Well, honestly and truly, most of these spider women want to get their hearts broken by Chad and Tyrone. For the rest of us who actually want to improve on ourselves, we're going to go somewhere else and do that. And that's what today's sponsor, Anson Belt and Buckle, helps you to do.
Look at this. 38, getting divorced after 16 years. He's the best man I've ever met and still not good enough. Don't do it, ladies. Bro, did you just hear what she said? 38, getting divorced after 16 years. He's the best man I've ever met and still not good enough. Don't do it. And I'm the hater. I'm just observing what's around me. I want you to see this video real quick. Look. Let's shoot this video.
The thing that's deeply concerning is that, like, all of the older women, when I say older, like 50 plus, are strongly passionate about younger women, 20s, 30s, not getting married. It's like you can see your future and they're telling you exactly what are we going to do about this?
Now peep these comments, bro. I want you to peep these comments. Look at this. 43 here. Don't get married unless he's rich and there's no prenup. That's not happening. Look at this one. I'm 48. I've been married for over 20 years to a man I would for. If I could go back in time, I would tell younger me to never get married. Love him? Yes. Live with him? No. Have kids with him? No. Bro, are y'all not understanding? It doesn't matter how good of a person you are, how much you're able to love. It don't matter. Look at this. I almost want to find this woman's husband so I can send it to him. Do I love my husband? Yup. Would I get married again? No. This is insane. Look, married 23 years. I love my husband. Love my kids. However, if I could go back, I'd never have gotten married. Never. Don't do it. Trust your elders. Trust us. Bro, are you getting the patterns here? It don't matter how much you love your woman. It don't matter how much of a great guy you are. Bro, they can leave you after 30 years. And everything that you've done, down the drain. It's like you might as well just be single forever. This generation is cooked, bro. And they're telling us, I'm not being a hater. I'm just observing and listening to my surroundings. Don't get me wrong. I take things for granted. But everybody's saying don't get married. Yo, and not only that, look around. 70% of y'all parents aren't even together. And not only this is the woman talking. Ask men. Ask men. Ask men in their 40s and up, or niggas that are just married, ask them if they would get married. Ask them if they would do it all over again and get married. I'm not being a hater, I promise you.
Apparently this is like a hot take, but if you're a girl, if you find a man attractive, you should go up to him. A lot of people are gonna say, no, look, the man should come up to me and approach. Fine, but don't get mad if all the people that you're attracting are people who are just not your type, and you're like, dang, I have to settle. Like, no, you actually don't have to settle. So I remember I was talking to my mom about this because I was very headstrong. I'm never approaching a man. But then she explained it down to me really, really simply. She was like, you as a woman, you have options. You have choices of people that you can choose to date. You know what I mean? And so if you see someone that you're like, hey, I'm interested in them, you should invite them into that options list. That does not mean you sit there and you're like, hey, can I have your number? Like, no. So when you approach someone, I'm not saying you hit on them. Like, unless you're doing it for the plot, sure. I mean, I've done it, shoot. But like, sincerely, if you're trying to get something out of it, you just go up to them and you're like, hey, like, did you know, da-da-da-da? Or do you know that you ask a question? Or maybe you say something, a comment. But it gives a little like, oh, she could be interested in me because she's coming up to talk to me. But she could also just be asking me this. You know what I mean? So it's not direct, but you're inviting them. You're giving that opportunity because you want them. So you choose them, you know what I mean? And then they choose you, you know? So that same thing. And cause back in my day, I can't believe I just said back in my day. I'm like 19. But truly, guys, you would be so surprised at the people who are actually attracted to you. That you thought like didn't have any interest in you or whatever, the moment you speak to them. I have had so many situations where I have literally just gone up to a guy I was like, oh, he's kind of cute. I just say something, then he drags the conversation, drags it out. And I'm like, oh. And then turns out he was interested in me later. Mind you, when I first come to the function, all I see is this from him. I don't even see him. Like, you know what I mean? I would have not known. And so it's chances like that. And you know what? It's not you hitting on them. It's just you opening up the floor because you get to pick.
You know, just for once in my life, I want to feel chosen. I don't know what it feels like when a person wholeheartedly chooses you. Because every time I'm with someone, they either have anyone else in their mind or they are thinking of someone else or who they are going to be with next. And just comparing them and me and then leaving me for my flaws or for things I can't do, but always neglecting the things that I've done. And I just don't know what it feels like to be chosen. Every single day I just wake up and I ask, can I just feel like once that I'm enough? And it never comes. Never.
I'm gonna be dead honest with you. You're never gonna find that. If this is how you're gonna go about it, you'll never find it. Sorry to break your bubble. So my friend actually sent me this video and she's going through exact same thing. And I love her, but I stopped giving her advice. You know why? Because she's romanticizing the pain at this point. She knows the guy is not good for her, but she doesn't want to do the work. And look, it's easier to sit and cry about things than do the uncomfortable work. Blaming the world is easy. Feeling chosen by someone else feels better than choosing yourself until you realize it's a trap. She's asking God, is this too much to ask for? Let me give you a better question to ask yourself. Have you ever chosen yourself? Like genuinely, have you ever? Do you even know your standards, your values, your non-negotiables? Because if you do, and the person you're with isn't meeting them, then why are you still there? That's the uncomfortable work. Walking away is hard. Staying is easy, even when it's killing you slowly. And I'm not saying this from some high horse. I was the same, begging for crumbs, overextending myself until I was empty. And then one day I realized, holy shit, I was the fucking problem. I didn't have standards, and I thought I did. I didn't have the courage to walk away. You want to feel chosen? Then choose yourself first. You'll never find that person because you keep looking for them while abandoning yourself.
A lot of these modern women like to comment on a man's masculinity. And if that's what you want to do, that's fine. Well, I believe a man should be this, and this, right? But I think the problem is a lot of these modern women really don't have a concept of what a man is. You can have an opinion, but the unfortunate thing for a lot of these modern women is their opinion is wrong. Their opinion of what a man is and what a man should be is wrong. That's not actually how a man works. That's not actually how masculinity works. They don't know that. They're just talking about what they read in some book somewhere.
Thank you for your input. I think a lot of women have this feeling that this is a negative thing to be led by a man. However, men usually earn our respect by taking lead. This doesn't mean that he's controlling your life or bossing you around. Saying that you want a man to lead doesn't mean that you want a tyrant boss. When I say we want men to lead, it means that he's able to demonstrate his capability, responsibility, and assertiveness in the relationship. He knows what he's doing and value his insight and decision making. They get things done, so we can admire and respect them for getting things done. Make us feel safe, even in the worst times. He'll have a plan, so you can depend on him. So when I mean lead, it's not that you're just in the back burner. He's leading because there can't be two leaders in the relationship. Not only that, do you really want to lead the relationship? I've been in relationships where I have been the leader, and it's exhausting. We don't want to be the ones stressing, worrying about everything, making sure things get done. That puts you in your masculine energy. When a man takes lead, it allows you to be in your feminine energy, allowing you the freedom to be joyful and happy, be at peace with yourself. I'm not sure where the negative connotation of having a man lead came from, but it's not a bad thing. We're taking it as a bad thing where we're allowing men to walk all over us and we're their doormats. That's not the case. When you find a good man, it's like yin and yang. You both balance each other out. You both are equal in value, but you operate in different roles. Yes, you can lead yourself, but that's not very successful in a relationship. Only be one king and one queen. You can't both sit on the throne and wear the pants. Yes, you can lead yourself, but what's the point of that in a relationship? What are you gaining out of leading?
I'm not a gatekeeper, so let me put you on to where you need to go to be in the proximity of high-value men, high-end hotel bars. Think the Four Seasons, the Ritz-Carlton. Make sure that you're going during happy hour. Don't wait until 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. The men that you're looking for, they work jobs, okay? So they got to go home and get in the bed. You want to be there when they're winding down. Go sit at the bar, look good, smell good, and of course, smile. Your high-end or luxury gyms, think Equinox. Ladies, this is why you need to have a workout regimen going, because the men that you're interested in magnetizing to you, they have something to live for. So they work out. They care about their health. They're not just walking around in a perpetual cloud of dust. Coffee shops, juice bars, restaurants, grocery stores in affluent neighborhoods. It's perfect. Start volunteering. You're going to be around people of affluence and influence. This is where you want to be. You're going to stand out. And you're going to have the air of philanthropist and humanitarian. That's a win-win. Go online and look up these events for the museums and art galleries in your area and start going. Friends of friends. I don't want you to sound desperate or thirsty. Just kind of casually mention to a friend of a friend or a couple that you know that you're interested in dating. Dating apps. I would not use a dating app as being my primary source for being in the proximity of potential suitors, but what I would use it for is to diversify my dating portfolio. You're not chasing, you're not initiating, and you're not pursuing because gross. We don't do that. I'm Asata, your interracial dating auntie, empowering Black women to break dusty relationship patterns.
My girls in their 30s who are dating, I want to discuss an ick, like a major ick that I recently discovered. And for men too, like you should watch this, like don't do this, okay? I was on a date with a guy that I met in the wild. He asked me out, you know, just out and about. We were sitting next to each other. And the date was going great. We were having a good time. We were dearly departed, having like a little drink and a little oysters, and the conversation was flowing. And I don't remember what I was talking about, but I said something like, oh, you know, like when you're in your 30s, like we are. And he goes, you're in your 30s? Like this man's was shook. He literally scooched back, like, you're in your 30s? And I'm like, yeah, like I'm 32. Keep in mind, this man was like 36, about to be 37. And I don't know if guys like think that this is a compliment to be like, oh, you look younger. I'm 32. I'm every day of 32. Like I don't want to look younger. I'm not trying to look younger. So I don't know if that's what he was going for. But if he was genuinely shook, like, oh, you're in your 30s and he's low-key about to be 37, how old did you think I was? Like, did you think you were asking out somebody that's like 10 years younger than you? And then my question is like, why? Because to me, my first thought is like younger women put up with a whole lot more than I would. Like I know in the past I put up with a whole lot of bullshit from men that and now looking back I shouldn't have done, but I was younger and I was like, you know, stupid. I don't know, men, don't do that. If you think you're complimenting us, you're not. To say we look younger. I'm only 32. In the year 2026, 32 is really not that old. I'm still pretty youthful. At least I feel. And red flag if a guy is ever trying to date girls 10 plus years younger than him. Red flag. We want the fully developed prefrontal cortexes to be appreciated. They're hard-earned. Thank you.
If you don't know how to take accountability for your actions, you are going to destroy every relationship you ever try to build. Most women say they want communication, honesty, and emotional maturity, right? But the moment they're called out, they flip the script, they gaslight, deflect, or say, I only acted this way because you did this. That is not accountability. That is avoidance. And that's exactly why good men check out and shut down. Listen carefully. Accountability does not make you weak. Get that out of your freaking head. It doesn't make you less feminine. It's actually one of the most magnetic things about a woman. A man feels safe with a woman who can own her behavior instead of trying to justify it. When you refuse to take ownership, you teach him that your emotions will always outweigh logic, that every disagreement you have will turn into the blame game. And when that happens, he stops opening up. Not because he doesn't care, but because it's not safe for him to do so. A real apology sounds like this. I'm sorry for what I said. I can see how that made you feel. I will do better next time. That's it. That is growth. That is maturity. The second you say, I'm sorry, but you've already lost the moment. Men, this part is for you. You need to put your foot down and make her realize that this behavior is not okay. When you keep letting it slide, you're teaching her that disrespect is negotiable. You're not helping her grow. You're enabling the dysfunction. Real men hold the line, not to dominate, but to protect the standard of respect between you two. Accountability is what separates a woman who is healed from a woman who is still reacting from her wounds. It's not about being perfect, but it's about being aware. When both people learn and acknowledge how to own their own energy, you stop breaking what was meant to build you. Learn how to take some accountability. It's not that hard. Put your ego down. Learn.
In the matriarchy, would males have to compete for their basic survival like they do in nature? And you're right, in a large-scale matriarchy, of course males wouldn't have to compete for their basic survival. Matriarchies develop communitarian systems that make sure all humans have their needs met. That includes women, children, and men. For an idea of how this would work or look structurally, Kate Raworth's donut economy is a really good example. So under the patriarchy, males do have to compete for their basic survival. We all do. And that's because male nature is what is guiding civilization. Patriarchy is a large-scale systemic manifestation of male psychology. If you don't understand what I mean by that, please go watch this video first. Under a patriarchy, the male's competitive psychology, survival of the fittest, takes over. This is why we have things like war and poverty, when we have both enough rationality and enough resources to end both of those things. Matriarchal economies are distributive, so it would prevent the need for competing for basic survival resources, since survival would nearly be guaranteed. The problem in the patriarchy is that the male competitive nature, the male recklessness, the male risk-taking is out in front, and it's what's leading everything. And that is not what should be leading society. Because of the competitive nature of the male, the patriarchal systems have developed around the principle of competition, which is why everyone has to compete for their basic survival. And that is one of the main problems with patriarchy. The male's competitive drive, the male's reckless drive has a place, but it should not be leading society. It should not be the thing that's in front. It needs to be guided and tempered by feminine communitarian values. That way, we don't end up with individuals or groups dominating over other groups. Feminine leadership makes sure the needs of the whole are met. Male recklessness, male risk-taking, male competitiveness has a place in society. It can help drive forward innovation, help us navigating through dangerous situations. For instance, in a hunter-gatherer society, you need the guy who's going to try the mushroom before anybody else to see if it's either tasty, or if it's going to kill you, or if it's going to let you have an encounter with God. Male nature has a place in society. It's valuable. It should just not be what's in front leading everybody.
And you have to understand that when you ask about where all the good men are, a lot of these men are quiet. They're right in front of you. They didn't disappear. They just quiet. I'm selective. I'm less willing to throw myself into another situation that looks and that feels unserious. You look and you feel unserious. This whole thing that we got going on looks and feels unserious. It looks like you playing around. You about to play with my money, about to play with my time. Some of these brothers got kids, and you about to play with my kids. And if you start doing that, you might have a problem.